What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage coming to you live out of Portland, Oregon, New York. What is up, Scott Harris, CEO of Social Survey? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Well, it's going to be the first time I've interviewed you in the Mortgage Coach community, and I am super pumped to do it. I've got some questions that I don't know the answers to, and I always like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I see Jacqueline. I see Jacqueline everywhere. I see she's hey Jacqueline. She I see the Zenith folks everywhere. So
they've done a good job of getting lots of good reviews and making the most of those online reviews.
Yeah, they find themselves at the top of our list every year. So I love to see those guys around.
Right on. So Mortgage Coach community, today's conversation is going to be all about how to make the most with online reviews. We live in a world of information overload. There is an absolute war being waged for the attention and trust of your clients. The battlefield has never been more crowded. It's never been more competitive. You know, you've got Zillow coming after it. You've got the threat of Amazon coming after it. You got, brokers scaling. There's never been more competitors trying to get the trust and attention of a homeowner who either is looking to refinance or is thinking about buying. So I think it's more important than ever that you crush it when it comes to social proof on your success. When it comes to online 5-star reviews, you need to have a lot of them. You need to be very intentional with how you promote them and you leverage them in your sales and marketing process. So we have done an integration with Social Survey that I am super proud of, and we're going to interview the CEO of Social Survey now. So Scott, let's start off, because this is the first time you've been in the community, and just tell everybody a little bit about your mortgage backstory. What did you do before you were the CEO and founder of Social Survey?
So I was in real estate. Believe it or not, I was the HUD listing guy for the broad listing broker for all the HUD properties in southwestern Ohio. It was, I was the foreclosure guy. I did VA listings, I did HUD listings, I did Fannie and Freddie and Ocwen and Cal Rio, and I worked with all the trucks on the road doing clean outs, and I personally closed over 1,000 transactions a year. But more as a broad listing broker style real estate agent. More, it was very mechanical, way different than what most real estate agents do. And I had to start building technology for my business just to manage all the listings and to market the listings and to manage all the leads that were coming in. And I had some mortgage folks in the building. And really got the mortgage bug, believe it or not, in 2007.
Wow, what an awesome year to get the mortgage bug.
So, but I love tech, and I got the tech bug and the mortgage bug, and so I wanted to change the way people borrowed money, and so I got into mortgage and started a net branch in my real estate company. Back then, and the whole idea was just to hire a bunch of people and learn how it works, and then augment those people with workflows, right? And so I built Pipeline Manager was my first tool, and then my Turbo Loan was my second tool. I recently actually helped Steve Abreu and the NewFi folks build the NewFi automated mortgage lending tool. So I love that complicated problem. Anyway, built a lot of tools. And had mortgage companies and other real estate companies calling me saying, "Hey, we need that tool. Can you build that tool for us?" And I was kind of a serial starter, which is not a compliment, but I would build a single tenant, really cool thing, right? Whether it's a recruiting tool that I helped iTech with, or Guild Edge Listing Pro for connecting real estate agents and mortgage folks at Guild, or Is Now Listed, or Real Pro, or so many different tools that we just built. Every time somebody said, can you solve this problem, I would dig deep and try to solve that problem. But yeah, that's where I started. I was playing at real estate and probably maybe number 1 or 2 in the country for as far as units goes. And building tech and hiring some tech talent in the building and doing mortgages and building mortgage workflows and working lots of hours and just paying tuition is what I call it, right?
Right.
I didn't know what I didn't know, and then several years later, one of my investors that I had taken on said, "Hey man, it's time to grow up and pick one, and let's be a multi-tenant software company." And so we argued about which one it was going to be. Believe it or not, am I going to do automated mortgage lending? Am I going to get in that space, or am I going to do the survey platform that was so impactful for a couple of businesses that we were working with? And I wanted to do the mortgage thing because it was the hard thing.
Love that. So I think it's safe to assume you are a serial entrepreneur. You know real estate, you know mortgage. So let's do the social survey. Why? Like, why did you pick social survey? And let's talk early days when you founded it, and then let's kind of do a couple chapters of startup to where you're at today. So why social survey?
I lost the tug of war, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's social survey. There was 2. There was automated mortgage lending, right? The Roostifys and I still have hundreds of pages of documentation, and we built one of the coolest systems in the NewFi system. I really love that automated experience. I think it really supports the loan officer and helps them powers their business. And I wanted to do that one. And everyone around me said, this reviews thing is so powerful and everyone needs it. And, but it just felt easy to me at the time. And so I kept fighting. And eventually our lawyer even said, hey, we want to come in and we want to invest in the reviews thing. And so we kept getting those signals. And so I built both. So I built NewFi for Steve Abreu in partnership with Pat McCauley over there, and then for ourselves, we built the multi-tenant social survey platform that turned out to be way bigger and different and than we ever imagined.
Yeah,
so I was wrong. Let's put it that way. It is very complicated.
Well, it's always interesting how ideas and strategies come to life. From my perspective, you have built and founded one of the fastest growing technology companies in the country. Like, I've never, seen a technology go from nothing. I mean, I can still remember I don't know if it was the first event you went to, but among the first events you went to, and I'd never heard of social survey, and you were like, Dave, this thing is awesome. And I think at that time, I don't know where Churchill was in terms of the number of clients you had, but they were a good customer, or they are a great customer and partner of ours and friends. And you had just done something with them. And then, here we are today, you've got hundreds of lenders that have rolled out social survey at an enterprise level. It's like, turn it on, every loan officer gets it. That's uncommon. So how long has it been since you started it?
August 2015. We took
3+ years.
We took a couple shekels in, turned on a couple of customers, didn't know what we had, right? What we knew was what we really thought. If you think about our name, Social Survey, we were the company that collected a review and shared it on Facebook. And we took some customers in and tried to figure out who we were, and started listening to the product and listening to our customers, and 7 months later we started selling. So it wasn't until April roughly of 2016 that we really dug in and started selling.
So how long did it take? Right. So how long did it take to get your first 100 lenders rolled out? Like, when do you think you hit that milestone?
That's a great question. I would say mid 2017. So it took us
a
little over a year.
And that's what, about 15,000-ish loan officers, and today you're like 230 lenders with, what is it, like about 28,000 loan officers using your platform?
Yeah, roughly. We're now in insurance and hospitality, and I mean, to be honest, the mortgage, cutting our teeth in mortgage was magical for us. It was because in mortgage, the hierarchy, the schema matters, right? The loan officer is the primary route to market. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to power the reputation of the loan officer, but the loan officer works for a branch or a location that is highly influential, and there's some oversight there. And then they have regions and DBAs, and then the company. And so in order to really do it, because of the top-down compliance and the bottom-up need for control and power, we had to build the entire hierarchy into social survey. And for many reasons, that turned us from a company that collects reviews and shares them on Facebook to a platform that is doing listings management, social media monitoring, and reviews distribution, and all kinds of API sharing, and it caused us to work in every vertical, and it gave us such a competitive advantage out there in the marketplace when we're competing against reputation.coms and the Bird Eyes, and just the fact that we can power every level of the organization everywhere that they need to be powered online. And so it was starting with mortgage was a blessing. I mean, it was an unbelievable blessing for the trajectory of our company.
Well, I love your story. I love the success you're having. Let's focus on the mortgage professional. And while there's a lot of different business models out there, let's just assume it's a local referral-based mortgage pro. And think of it like who's watching the rest of this interview are loan officers that want to crush it with surveys, and branch managers that want to help their loan officers really do well. And let's just walk through like why. If I'm a branch manager, if I'm a local referral-based mortgage professional, why not? I don't want you to do why social survey. I want you to do why should I put technology in place and make it a business priority.
Yeah, so we're in Newport Beach the other day, and Emma and me and my daughter Bailey were walking down the street in Newport Beach, and we walked by a coffee shop, and Emma looks at Bailey, the 15-year-old, and says, "Hey, we should try that coffee shop tomorrow." And Bailey goes, "No, I already looked them up, and they're only a 3.5." So, and she's 15 years old. That company lost her business at 15, and she never stepped foot in the door. And so that's the economy, this experience economy, this need for social proof, and it is where we are today. It's my son did the same thing at Christmas. He brought me some DJ equipment that he wanted, and he said, "I already read all the reviews." By the way, my 10-year-old son, my 10-year-old son actually, I have two, doesn't know what I do, right? He didn't know what I do for a job. So he's not reading reviews because of me. He's reading reviews because that's the way they buy. And that's just not the kids. And you gotta be ready for the kids because they're coming, right? But that's the way we all buy today, right? If you think about it, if you go to a new community and you go to Yelp to look up a restaurant, you're going to have a great experience if you find a great restaurant with 2,000-3,000 reviews and over 4.5 stars. And if you find one with 3 reviews and 5 stars, you probably can't trust it. And so,
so true.
Yeah, and so that's, I would say, it's no different. I mean, our data shows that 70% of the roughly 70% of all the deals are still coming in from referrals. But a significant portion of those referrals are not just taking their friend's word for it. They're going online and looking them up and saying, let me get some social proof. This is the way I buy. And so I think that there's a couple of things, especially you got some dueling, you get not just the buying habits of folks, but this push to go online and to automate and the this new digital mortgage world that's being pushed on us. If you take those two factors, then I would say your job as a loan officer is to dominate locally, win local, right? You have to own the 3-pack on Google. You have to be on that page. And it's easy to get on that page if you're doing the right work. You have to have, when someone looks you up online, Google gives them 1.3 million results, right, in a third of a second. Your job is to win those first 10. When someone's looking for a mortgage in your market, you want to win. And the best way is to have a great presence on all of those places. You should have reviews on your personal websites. You should have reviews on Zillow. You should have recommendations and reviews on Facebook. You should have reviews on Google My Business. I mean, Jacqueline's on the call. We should ask her and what percentage of, or how many of her customers actually are reading her reviews before using her. It's astonishing how fast that curve has moved. I think the other thing as an agent that you can do as a loan officer is, I think you should survey your real estate agent, because your real estate agents, you can use that great Scott, voice. Yes.
Scott, real quick, when you're putting your arms on your desk, it's shaking the camera. So
okay,
first of all, you are killing it. I don't want to take any of your energy, but also your camera is shaking a lot. So just a heads up to that.
All right.
Now you said a couple things about, dominating local, and we talk a lot about being the digital mayor of your local marketplace. And I think that is so true. Also, community, I asked a few of our mutual clients that, are killing it with social survey. Out of the 30,000 loan officers using it, they're in the top 200. So we've got Jacqueline Gallegos. And Jacqueline, I know I've got to add something to your name, Jacqueline Gallegos. What is your full name now?
It'll eventually be Jacqueline Forleo.
Forleo. So
I have a lot of paperwork to do before that happens.
Yeah, right. Well, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Congrats. That's awesome.
And I've interviewed Jacqueline a lot of times. She, in my mind, epitomizes the local referral-based mortgage professional. She's incredibly intentional about how she builds her personal brand. She delivers exceptional advice, and she crushes it with social survey. So, Jacqueline, I would love for you to kind of answer that question Scott had, just throwing it out. How big of a deal are reviews from your perspective?
I mean, I think they're a really big deal. It's not just, hey, here I'm the realtor and I'm referring you out to this person. They really want to know that social proof. So the benefit of social surveys, that stuff's showing up on Facebook, it's showing up on LinkedIn, showing up on Twitter. So it's showing up everywhere. So people are seeing it. It's getting activity. And what's nice about it with the realtors that I happen to work with is they'll send the clients to my Facebook business page. So they'll see some of the surveys on there. And then I use it as part of our pre-approval process as well. When clients are submitting an offer, some of the surveys from Social Survey are in that pre-approval too, so that the clients and the agents can see, this is what people are saying about us, not just realtors, but also the buyers, so that they know what the agent knows what they're getting into by accepting an offer from us. So I think that has a big impact as well.
No doubt. And just so everybody knows, how many loans do you typically close a year, or what's your estimated loan volume?
I usually do 100-ish. The goal is to be very far north of that number, but around 100.
Around 100. So you're killing it. I mean, top 1% mortgage professional. And this is the playbook. I love that you have your realtors intentionally putting you in the loop when they refer you, making sure that they're saying your reviews. Scott, did you have a question for Jacqueline?
I do. So one of the things that impresses me is when I see an entire branch that feels like, and by the way, Zenith is a new brand. And they're already killing it locally. And I have a question for Jacqueline. Jacqueline, it feels to me like you guys are very collaborative in how you're winning. You guys have great realtor presence. You have great Google My Business presence. All of you guys are nearly 60% completion rate on reviews across over 2,200 reviews. You have 4.94 stars. Your numbers are ridiculous, and your sharing numbers are I think you're sharing the average review 8 to 9 times online. How collaborative are you? How much are you guys talk about this? Does this come up in meetings? Is this a competition? How are you guys, what's causing this?
I mean, everything's a competition. I mean, yeah, we talk about it. Dave, our branch manager, and also my dad, he sends out an email every single week with the entire sales team with all the social surveys that came out that week, so that the entire group can see, here's what you guys helped to contribute to our clients this week. And it goes to our operations team, and it goes to our closers and everybody else, so that everyone collectively can see what they participated in to make those things happen. So it's definitely something that we're talking about. We talk about our net promoter score at least once a month in our sales calls, because we know we used to get told a lot that we were the best kept secret in mortgages. And, it just got to a point where Dave was tired of being a secret. So it's like, no, people need to know. So, I mean, back in 2000, 2007, 2008, mortgage lenders weren't getting a very good rap. So we made it our mission to make sure we were doing a really good job and making sure that people knew about us, so that they know it's not supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be really good. And here we're not just, it's that whole, don't take our word for it. Like, look at the surveys.
Love that.
And you guys use that a lot, that don't take our word for it.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw it. It's like an infomercial or something. They're just like, don't take our word for it. So every time I see it's like, here, look at our surveys. That's what I hear in my head.
Love that. And, Dave Gallegos, who I've interviewed a number of times, check him out in our YouTube channel. He does do a great job of just being consistent. They have tremendous adoption of Mortgage Coach. All of his loan officers use it consistently. They use it effectively. And that is one of the key themes, is when you have leadership, for all you branch managers out there, you want to have lots of 5-star reviews online, review it weekly, celebrate it, recognize it. You want to have a lot of loan officers using Mortgage Coach consistently, review it consistently, celebrate it. When someone gets some feedback via email or an online review about how Mortgage Coach added value, share it with your team. It really is that simple. Organic, consistent communication is how people develop levels of excellence. So,
hey, Jacqueline, I'm just real quick. I'm logged on to your account, and since you launched with Zenith, by the way, results are insane. We never clicked the partner review box, so we're not surveying your real estate agents at all right now. You should check that box.
Yeah, we disabled it temporarily because it wasn't, the realtors were getting confused about the way it was getting sent out. And so it wasn't specifying what transaction it was. So they didn't know what they were surveying about. But what I've started doing is, if I had a good transaction with a real estate agent and I want to try to work with them later, I always follow up with them and kind of butter them up a little bit and asks like, hey, I had such a good experience with you. Where can I leave a review for you? And 80 to 90% of the time they'll be like, hey, I'll leave one for you. And I always send them the social survey. So, because it's easier for me to say, hey, will you leave one for me, if I'm already offering without saying anything else. So I've been using it to that extent a little bit as well. But I know that's something that Dave's working on.
That is genius. We should train that. Where can I leave a review for you? Of course they're going to say, how can I? That's so smart.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to remember who I interviewed recently. I'm going to actually put a link down below, but he talked about that as a great, LinkedIn strategy, that just start off your relationships. I mean, it has to be organic. It has to be authentic. It has to be a legit review. But giving reviews is the best way to get reviews. So I love that. So let's do this. Let's make sure, first of all, folks know what a Mortgage Coach integration, a social survey looks like. And I want to make sure that we connect the dots on that because it's really powerful. For anyone that's on this call and you're a common customer of ours, this is going to get turned on very shortly. And Jacqueline, I don't know if you've seen it yet. By the way, have you seen the new integration yet?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So think about this, guys. You know, your company logo, your personal logo and brand, which if you want to be the digital mayor, you want to dominate your local market, you know, the loan officer with the most digital friends wins. So you're delivering your rates and fees. You got your, you know, closing costs and details. Average loan officers provide this. This is not, you know, we make it prettier with your brand and everything, but this is where it goes next level, you know, showing the difference in different programs, you know, with graphs and charts. And then this is where it starts going to another level of transparency and value, where you start showing the cost over different windows of time. You know, which loan would be better over 60 months? Which loan would be better over 15 years? And then boom, you know, at the right time, when you're in a sales conversation and you're trying to accelerate trust and accelerate referrals, you know, just that first impression, you're trying to wow someone. And now you've got the, you know, the wow impact of the social survey integration. So Jacqueline, I'll start with you. Like, what are your impressions of this and what do you like about this?
I think it's great because it takes away an extra step for the client, because I personally sent out a mortgage coach presentation with a video within an hour of the initial conversation with the client. And I CC the buyer's agent, whoever referred them to me, on that email. One, so they know that I've got their client and we're taking care of them. And two, because I want them to see the numbers right away and see kind of what that conversation is. And I start building that relationship with them that day. And I've got a ton of positive feedback about having that personalized video in there too. So I think taking it a step further, this just kind of cuts out them having to actually do the searching on their own. I'm like, no, here's the surveys that are right here. And this is an easy lead in for clients, especially if it's an agent that's never worked with me before, or a client that's kind of new and uncomfortable and doesn't really know what to expect. They can just jump right in there. I think that it's going to just further increase the visibility of your process.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's, again, our passion is helping you turn education and advice into a competitive weapon. And now, you know, the thing that we all know people look at. I mean, it's not a question of if people rate shop you. It's a question of, you know, do they grind you at the front end? Do they decide that they have so much trust, respect in what you do that they never put the grind, or do they put it at the back end? So, you know, putting your best foot forward, I think, makes a lot of sense. Scott, anything, you know, like when you think of this integration and the time that you and your team have dedicated to it, anything come to mind, you know, what you like about it and the value you see in it?
Well, look, your team did most of the heavy lifting, so this is pretty fantastic. We're excited about it, but here's the thing: anyone can quote a rate, but this kind of professionalism and this, I mean, and now you've got the social proof. Here's the thing: if you do business with Josh, one, you're gonna do business with a pro, and two, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a great experience. Right? This presentation, I mean, what's the conversion? It's like 15 to 30% more on lead conversion once you get to this step. I think the reviews had a whole nother level of conversion, and I actually think that Jacqueline's tip is a great tip. Add a video, and I think you're just stacking conversion up on your. I mean, I think it's very compelling. One, the total cost analysis. I mean, it makes you quote rate like a pro, right? The video, you can say what you need to say and direct traffic, and then the reviews just validate that you're the right person. I mean, this is the way you put this whole thing put together. You guys did a great job here, Jacqueline. Yeah. I love that you're doing videos too. That's
yeah. Smart. And we find that the video has huge impact. The one you're looking at right now is I interviewed Kevin Watson last Friday, and I'm actually going to put a link down below because he just killed it. This was a 20-minute conversation where he walked through what it sounds like for him to have a conversation with a first-time home buyer. This particular video he posted it on Facebook, and it was for realtors. But here's the takeaway for everybody on this call. You do not want to compete for a first-time home buyer with Kevin Watson. And I think everybody on this call, check out this interview, check out this experience, and then you need to upgrade your game. Like if you're a branch manager, there's a few conversations that your loan officers need to have at a level of elite level. And that's a move-up buyer, a first-time home buyer, a typical purchase. We're going to talk about next Tuesday, we're going to talk about the top spring home buying strategies. And then just watch the interviews, participate in our group. And Jacqueline, by the way, what are the big conversations you're having right now during spring home buying season? What are some of the biggest and most common, total cost analysis conversations you're having?
For the most part, it's not anything out of the ordinary than what I normally talk about, honestly. It's more of for the first time buyers, it's, can I do this? What does it look like realistically? And how do I get there? So it's really about the planning stages. By the time I get this document to the client, I've already had a full conversation with them about what they want, what they're looking for, their time frame, what they're nervous about, what they want that payment to be, all of that stuff. So in that video, I can address, okay, based on what you told me, these are the options that make the most sense. Here's what I'm leaning towards. Here's why, that kind of thing. And then I'm also going to go through this presentation with them in person. So the video is just the precursor to, hey, I want you to see numbers right now. We'll go through this in further depth, but now are my expectations of what this might look like, is it a reality? And if it's not, then I can address that in the video too, and why we might need to scale back somewhere or vice versa. But now they can see it in real numbers based on their actual profile. So as far as the spring part of the season is concerned, it's not, my conversation does not change.
Got it. Cool. So a couple notes for Mortgage Coach community. Our YouTube channel, this particular interview will be uploaded within the hour. In here, the mortgage strategies column, highly recommend you check it out. This is the interview, was actually posted on Saturday, and it's already, I'm sure within the hour, it'll be north of 200 views. Also, if you have questions right now, this call is live in Facebook. Post questions during the call while it's live, post questions after the call while it's live. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a minute. Jacqueline, any questions you have for Scott? And remember, community, if you have questions for Scott, bring them down.
I think the only question I have is on the social survey, the actual reviews that show up in Mortgage Coach. Are those going to be rotating and like kind of circulating through there when they show up?
It's your last 5-star review, from what I understand.
Cool.
So yeah, so it'll always be your last 5-star review.
Yeah, and it will be great reviews. So if your last review was 2 or 3 stars, that will not be showing up in the feed below. We want to make sure it's always a good one, and it's always a recent one.
So as I'm looking at the total cost analysis, I'm literally, so for the first time, I think when you're actually going through a process, you see that presentation a whole lot differently. I've seen it, I've always thought it was cool. But right now, we're looking at houses in the Danville area in California here, and I think I'm going to go do our new top 10 search and find the top agent and the top loan officer in the market that also uses Mortgage Coach, because I kind of want that experience. I get it even at a whole nother level now that I'm looking for a home myself. So that is a pretty cool experience. Jacqueline, when you go through, how much of the loan conversation when you're selling, how much of your time on the loan conversation do you actually spend in Mortgage Coach in your presentation?
The initial conversation, I try to keep the videos around 2-ish minutes. And then when I invite the buyer into the office to do the presentation, I do everything out of Mortgage Coach. When it's time to lock in, it's all in Mortgage Coach. And then after they close and we're talking about how to pay your loan off faster, it's Mortgage Coach.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Hey guys, did you hear that? After it's closed, so above and beyond the transaction, she is updating the total cost analysis and showing people how they can achieve their financial goals, which most people have it, I want to pay off my home faster. Some people want to build up enough equity to buy a move up home faster. Some people want to invest the difference so they have X amount of money in the bank to pay off their mortgage. But I love that, Jacqueline. Do you do that consistently, by the way? Is that like a consistent move that you have?
Yeah, every single transaction.
Love that. Well, we're going to have
Wow.
to make an interview on that, because a lot of loan officers say, I want to be your lender for life. And then, think about it. At the point of sale, they're doing the minimum to win the deal. After it closes, they either do nothing or they put it in some automated marketing message. But if you want to be a lender for life, you got to deliver lender for life services, which
How long does that take? Jacqueline, how long do you spend updating it? Is it just a couple minutes?
After the loan closes?
Yeah.
Honestly, my assistant updates it for me, so it doesn't take any time at all. Super easy.
So does everyone at Zenith do that? Do they do that for everyone?
I honestly don't know. I know Giuseppe probably does, because I've talked to him about it, but I'm not sure who else does it.
Yeah, highly recommend it. We're seeing more and more loan officers in our community do that. And if you're on this call and you have an assistant, make it a new team standard. And if you're on this call and you don't have an assistant, make it a new personal success habit. And if you need any help with that, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. So a couple things, and I want to ask more questions, and I'm going to look in Facebook and see if community, you have any questions. But if I've already got a lot of people going, Dave, I want this. How do I get it turned on? So a couple things. One, you can go, and I'm going to show on our screen real quick. If you can see my screen, if you go to the Mortgage Coach website, we have a partners section. If you click on the partners section and you go down to social survey, there's a learn more button. And if you click on that button, one, it tells you all about it. If you're not currently a member, you can request a demo. If you want to see an actual sample of it, click here. If you want to learn more here. And if you are an enterprise client, you're already a mutual client of both of ours, you can email me, dave@mortgagecoach.com, or socialsurvey@mortgagecoach.com and get in line. I can see my text is blowing up and I've already got a few requests for it, but get in line. We've already got about a dozen lenders that we're going to turn this on for, and we'll probably have 30-ish turned on by the end of the week. And if you're not currently a Mortgage Coach client, reach out. This is another reason to turn on Mortgage Coach, because if you have a lot of social survey reviews, you want to make sure you're promoting those. So Scott, any more questions for Jacqueline before we look for the audience and bring in a question from outside?
No, Jacqueline, I'm a big fan, and I appreciate how much you guys follow us and how connected you are. I guess I would just ask you this. So social survey automates a lot of it. You guys are doing good on Google, on social survey. You're doing good basically everywhere with reviews. You're using the total cost analysis. How much is automation and how much effort is it really to do all of this?
It's not a ton of effort, honestly, because if you're already using Mortgage Coach at an initial conversation with the client, it's just a matter of updating and tweaking things here and there all the way till the end. So even that how to pay off your loan faster breakdown that we do, it's just a matter of updating the loan to what's actually closed, and then pay an extra $100, $200, $300 off on the mortgage, and that's it. From an automation standpoint, the social surveys are programmed to go out as soon as the loan closes, like within a week, I think. And then within social survey, if they don't respond, I think there's some automated stuff that goes out that they can follow up until they fill it out. And then, I have it programmed so all of my social networks are connected. So as soon as it shows up on social survey, it shows up everywhere else for me. So once I was gonna say the initial automation of it takes a little bit of investment, but so does everything that works well. So, I'd say maybe an hour at the most to make sure everything's functioning the way you want it to. And then after that, it's kind of a set it and forget it. And And then taking that information when it is a bad survey and be like, hey, where'd we miss the mark? How do we fix it? And not being afraid of, I certainly wouldn't want that one in a mortgage coach for a client I just met, but if it's something that we need to fix, we need to fix it. That's how you get better.
So would you say that that the mortgage coach and social survey have actually saved you lots of time in your cadence? I mean, it sounds like you're very deliberate about your cadence with customers. Is it actually not only, and then I would also love to think, what do you think the conversion looks like? The increased conversion for leads looks like with just the combo of those two experiences for the customer?
Yeah, I'd say the conversion is probably at least doubles, because you're taking that extra step with mortgage coach, especially if you add that personalized video. I've now personalized it even more to that client, and they feel that that attention, that love. And I think they need that, especially your first time buyers. They need to know that they're being taken care of and somebody's watching out for me. And I think that's really important. And I get a lot of feedback that's like, hey, thanks for the personalized video. That was really awesome. Because even my people that are in the market locally that are competitors that use Mortgage Coach, a lot of them aren't using the video. And I get a lot of clients who will send me someone else's mortgage coach, and then I can just use it to adjust what I need to. And I know exactly how the system works. So I can plug it in and then I throw in a video. I've just won up the competition, and they're using the same product I am.
That's awesome. So, so the video, it's a little, people get a little bit afraid of doing a video, right? But it's super simple once you get into it. Have you found that it was hard at first, maybe, but then it just it's rinse and repeat?
It was so hard at first. I used to record videos that I put out like 100 times, and I have a tendency to talk fast, so I had to learn how to slow that down too for people. But eventually, you just got to get to a point where it's like, hey, this is what you look like, and that's what your voice sounds like. This is just it. So the sooner you kind of get comfortable with that, the rest of it gets a lot easier. Because I mean, whether I'm doing a video for a client or I'm seeing them face to face, this is just what it is. So, and it's about the information. The clients don't actually care what you look like. They just care that you're taking care of them and that you're giving them good information.
Jacqueline, you look great. I don't know what you're talking about. You're a pro. You look fantastic.
Well, you know how everybody is. They're critical of themselves. So we did get a couple questions. One person asked, when this is turned on, yeah, all your past surveys. You know, it's like you turn on the integration with the Mortgage Coach at the C level, everybody gets it, and your past surveys will be included on it. It does look like we just got joined. It sounds like your friends.
How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Well, I had asked a few loan officers, mortgage professionals that I know kill it with Mortgage Coach, have done over 1,000 total cost analysis, and that I know they're killing it with social survey because Giuseppe, I think, you've been #1 out of, tens of thousands of loan officers in social survey. And this year, I think you're in the top 100, top 200. Is that right, buddy?
Yeah, I think top 50. So proud to be in that group. I was warned at the end of last year that the completion percentage wasn't as high as it should be, and so working on some ways to speak to clients about that at the closing, so that they know that's coming and that it's important that they take a moment to complete it.
Nice.
So that's interesting, Dave. That's some secret sauce. So let me share that secret sauce with the mortgage coach community. Our model, our scoring model, is there's a volume component, there's a score component, and there's a completion percentage component. And so Giuseppe, with his 50-some%, and his crazy high scores and crazy high volume, it was the difference was 1/100th of a point because of completion percentage, and in the entire top 50 was the between 1 and 2, it was 1/10,000th of a point. I mean, the top 50 was crazy. And the truth is, Giuseppe was probably 7 or 8 5-star reviews because of what it was done to his completion percentage. to being back in that top 5 spot.
Oh.
And so there's the secret sauce. There it is. You have to pay attention. But I mean, how insane is an average of over 50% completion rates anyway? I mean, that's a testament to how great you're doing, Giuseppe, for your customers. I was going to say, we have the boss on today, so we barely missed you, Giuseppe. We got Jacqueline on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys in the same building?
No, different buildings.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Giuseppe, have you seen what it looks like yet, Giuseppe?
Yeah, I looked at it this morning, and it's excellent. I mean, it's right there. It's big and visible, and something like that certainly will continue to just turn that dial for someone who maybe is considering a couple different loan officers, and help you win more loans.
Yeah, no
Hey,
doubt about it.
Do you use videos, Giuseppe, on your TCAs? We're talking to Jacqueline, and she says her conversion because of videos is seriously impactful. Yeah,
all the time. And in fact, every once in a while we'll be competing with another lender, and they'll send us maybe an actual total cost analysis when we ask for one, and most people aren't doing one. But maybe there's no video, and it's a lot of data on a total cost analysis. So if you're not adding the video to explain it and simplify it, there's a big opportunity there.
Did you catch that? Everybody in the mortgage coach community, add a video to explain it and simplify it. And think about it, flash back to when you were in school. Did you like the teacher that netted it out the fastest and made things simple? Or did you like the teacher that talked the most and made things most complex? So be the loan officer that makes it simple. I love that. So I've had a couple questions, and since we have 2 people that do a great job, and are among the best in social survey, what are you doing to get reviews filled out? That was a question that was posted in our group. It showed up in the Facebook Live. What are you guys doing? And Giuseppe, why don't you go first, just since you just joined the call? How are you getting people to fill these things out?
Sure. I mean, the system is pretty flawless on its own, but as we just talked about, that completion percentage, I'm curious to see. I don't know if you had anyone else on this call, if you had anyone else that was maybe in the top 50 or top 5 to see if they're doing anything different. But one thing I started doing this year to improve that was just either a phone call or a video, depending if I can catch them after the closing, just explaining that that's going to be coming. And, we added a piece to that that talks about that, our bonuses structure for our team really rely heavily on these surveys. And so it's really important that they take just a couple minutes to complete it. And of course, it's super fast. We're hoping that helps this year.
Love that.
Wow.
So,
I just got a wow. You guys do bonuses based on reviews. That's fantastic. I had no clue. Now, most of our verticals, like in rental car and other verticals, a significant portion of their compensation is based on reviews. Because that drives behavior, but I haven't heard in the mortgage community doing reviews-based bonuses. By the way, you're up to like 62%.
Oh,
so
good.
Whatever you're doing, having a significant uptick. Yeah.
Hey, Jacqueline, what are you doing? And if you can look up Jacqueline percent, let's kind of put them head to head here on that. But Jacqueline, what are you doing?
I'm doing, honestly, so Giuseppe, I've been working with Giuseppe for my entire career, which is about 12 years now. So pretty much anything Giuseppe does, I figure out how I should do it. And so if Giuseppe's doing it, I'm probably doing it. So I did just recently record a video that will go out after the closing, like he mentions, says, hey, a survey is going to be coming out. Every once in a while, I'll throw something up on social that says, hey, if you've worked with me in the past year, I'd love for you to take a couple minutes just to leave a review for me, because some people, once the loan's done, they kind of put those blinders back on and they're like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's over. I want to move into my house and that kind of thing. So I friend all of my clients on social media and my realtors. So a lot of times I'll push something out to get clients or friends that have bought with me in the past that maybe weren't working with me when we had social survey, so they can go back in there and do it. And then I'll send it out, like I said previously, to realtors after the fact. If they say, hey, where can I leave a review for you? I always send them to social survey. So, and if I see a client who, I'll go in and look at those uncompleted surveys every once in a while. And some of them, I don't want them to finish the survey, but some of them I'll reach out and just be like, hey, this is coming. Would you mind sending it out? And they'll do it, or they'll leave it in Google, which is nice that those things integrate. So if it's Zillow, it shows up in social survey. It doesn't. So they're all connected, which is really nice that those systems talk to each other.
So
love that.
Jack, I love the way you started that. Whatever Giuseppe does, it's so true, right? It's this. And by the way, you're a leader. People should be watching what you're doing now too. I mean, it's your guys' effort. But what I hear, there's a lot of secret sauce in here, and it doesn't seem all that complicated, right? When you get a lead, the way to convert the lead is the most professional presentation. The total cost analysis seems like it has a significant lift on your conversion. Add a video, which takes a minute or two once you get into a cadence with them. Make sure that you deliver a great customer experience. When the customer's experience is over, social survey will automatically survey your customer and attempt to make it your #1 marketing asset online by sharing it automatically on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, your website, social surveys profile page, and even data sharing deals. Like we just did a deal with Lending Tree, so all the reviews will be there, and Zillow allows us to pre-populate reviews there. So this takes your customers and those great experiences and distributes them everywhere. And then go in after the transaction's over and update that TCA and show that customer, hey, this is not just a one and done. We're gonna stick, and we're gonna make sure that you have all the information you need after you close. It feels simple enough, and most of it's automated. And I think that folks should take you as the leader they should follow too, because you're doing some great stuff, and I love the cadence with it. I love how systematic you are. I would also love to hear about the way you guys go after real estate agents and how you use the voice of your realtors and the voice of your customers, and what success you've had at winning new relationships. I'd love to hear a little bit from both of you about that.
Giuseppe, why don't you go first on that, buddy? And Giuseppe, just so folks, while I've interviewed you a bunch of times, how many loans and what kind of volume do you do, just so the community knows?
The last 3 years have been between 80 and 90 million.
Killing
220 last year, 230 last year, something like that. And then a couple years ago, when there's some more refinances, we crossed over 300 once. So
guys, you're hearing advice from one of America's most successful loan officers. I've done a number of interviews with Giuseppe, but I'm going to put one down below. Also, if you're watching this in our Facebook Live, there'll be a link to one of Giuseppe's interviews. And if you want to get set up with the social survey platform, there's links down below to check it out. So Giuseppe, why don't you answer Scott's question, and then Jacqueline, we'll get an answer from you, and then we'll wrap up today's interview.
I think just the fact that it auto-populates onto social media is super helpful, because I'm trying to build the brand of education and 5-star client experience throughout, and helping realtors have a smooth transaction so that they don't have to worry about the current transaction and can go out and generate more business for themselves. And so the fact that it's posting to, let's say, my Facebook business page is helpful. But then when you have one of the real special ones, sharing that to your personal page, because I feel like a lot more people see that than the business page, or you can use it to create some ads also through Facebook. That's something that we're trying.
Love it. Scott, any comments or questions on that?
No, I every year when Giuseppe was up at the top a couple of years, and then he was on the list again this year. And so one of the things we do is we go find our favorite quote and bring it in for the content, right? So we go read quotes and just look for the most fantastic quote, I would say people write like novels for their experience with Giuseppe. I mean, there are so many great comments for Giuseppe and the whole team, really. Actually, you guys should know, you've got a guy on your team now, Todd Gerke, that has like a 76% response rate so far this year. But anyway, it's really hard to pick a winner because they have so many, the ones that he was talking about, the special reviews. It's hard to pick a winner with this crew because they have lots of really great, fantastic feedback from their customers. They're really killing it.
Love that. And Jacqueline, how would you respond to how you might integrate this with your realtors, to Scott's question?
A lot of times what I'll do when it posts is I'll go and I'll tag the realtor that referred him to me. Or if it was like a personal referral, I'll tag them to say, hey, thanks for trusting me, and tagging the client and things like that, because then it's showing up in their feed a lot of times too. So I think not just because that you've got that automation, people see that. So I think if you can be interactive somehow with that post as well, so that people can see that you're actually acknowledging that level of gratitude from your clients. I don't know if you can kind of see it in the background here. This wall wraps all the way around. Those are all thank you cards from my clients and my realtors. So acknowledging that level of gratitude from your clients on a digital platform, I think does make an impact too, because then it's a lot easier for somebody to refer you on a social platform, because then they can just tag their friend in that post, or they can say, hey, remember that post you saw, or whatever it was. It's just a lot easier to share that information digitally anyways. So I think if you can tag the agent, because agents like being tagged, it's free publicity for them too. And just saying, hey, thanks so much. You did such a great job. Same thing as doing the review, but now they're seeing that you're giving them that extra review too, because they're seeing what a good job the client, how they feel about it too, not just what I have to say.
I love that. Would you mind just putting the camera? I want to see those. Yeah, wait. So guys, I don't know about you, but my mind is blown. Think about it. You come in, you meet with Jacqueline, letters, you check her out online, reviews, you show up, she's getting this amazing advice experience, she's making it simple and clear with video. I mean, guys, I loved Scott, and I think I'm gonna transcribe this and write an article, and we've got Scott Harris's playbook for success and optimizing 5-star reviews, and he walked you guys through it. So we'll net that out. Love that, Jacqueline. Thank you for making time to be on this call and bringing value to this special rollout. Scott, we got 3 minutes left. I can't tell you how excited I am that we have finally brought this innovation to our mutual clients. So, they one step further or one step closer to being the digital mayor, because they've got reviews, they've got advice. My last piece of advice for folks, and then I'm gonna throw it to you, Scott. I love Jacqueline's idea. Make sure you're tagging your agent. Make sure you're tagging your client. You're becoming a digital friend. You're showing that gratitude online. I am seeing more and more mortgage coaches using the total cost analysis to show success stories on Facebook. In fact, I interviewed a great loan officer yesterday. I'll be posting it. Gene Gustin out of Sacramento. I'm going to be posting how he is taking success stories with Mortgage Coach and then sharing those stories and those strategies on Facebook. So I think, if you guys got nothing from this, you got some great ideas to get more 5-star reviews on, and then how to promote those. So Scott, what are your closing thoughts? You got a couple minutes left. Any closing thoughts or advice?
So first off, Jacqueline, I am also blown away by that wall. That's fantastic. We are in an experience economy, right? And that means we have to make sure that that wherever people find us, they find the best of us. And so if you're delivering an experience, if you're creating wow, as we say, for your customers, I don't know how you do it without tools like the total cost analysis. I mean, what a lift in experience through the mortgage process, and then to take those experiences and to use those customer experiences to power your brand and your social proof online. It is a perfect partnership for creating wow, not just for our loan officers, but for their customers. I think that this is so simple, and it's not all that costly. And the lift, you just heard the lead lift for Jacqueline. She's saying it's basically double. I don't know how you stay away from it. I think you have to do it. So that's me. Create wow for your customers. Remember that experiences count, and I love the experiences that are created by the total cost analysis and now the social survey partnerships. So Dave, thanks for having me on. Thank you, Giuseppe and Jacqueline, for lobbing in here and chatting with us about it. This has been fantastic. I was worried we wouldn't have an hour worth of content, but
yeah, come on, man. With you and I, and then we've got some amazing people on it. But guys, here's the deal. We have made advice, and I like the way Scott said, your best self. We've made it easy and simple to turn it on. So, if you're a loan officer, let your branch manager and the executive at the highest level that you know the best know that, hey, I want to get the social survey integrated into my total cost analysis. And the beauty of this whole thing is it's easy, no training required. Just turn it on at corporate and boom, all your advice experiences powered through Mortgage Coach, have your best reviews on them. So, hey guys, if you've got value, give us a like. If you think this is valuable, share it with mortgage friends. If you're a manager or a leader, I recommend that you schedule a sales meeting around this call and just audit. How are we doing at getting 5-star reviews? How are we doing at packaging them online and promoting them online? And hopefully this will help you get better. This call is a wrap. Y'all have a good one. And thanks again, Scott. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Giuseppe.